So we're turning an apple, but what is an apple? That is a different question. I got a bunch of apples here, 6 different kind of apple. They've got different shapes, they've got different colors, and yet they're all apples. The idea is to turn an apple, but it doesn't have to look exactly like this one. When you say it's an apple, it becomes an apple. Here's one that's pretty realistic. This one has a worm in it. This was made out of exotic wood, but it's, I don't remember what it is. It's been a long time. Even this is an apple.
I'm not convinced.
If you're an artist, you can call anything an apple. Except for this one. Don't call it an apple. It's a pear.
It's a pear apple.
It's a pear of apples. And I've been wondering, if I turn a cherry apple, it's an apple. If I turn a pineapple, is it a pineapple? Okay, sorry about that.
Screwed up and did what happened.
Don't give up your day
On the bottom, I put a clove to make the pitun.
Yeah. Make it smell nice.
The pitun. On top, I carve a piece of darker wood that I fit in. This weekend, last weekend actually, I met a lady that was selling her glass stuff next to our table at Seward Hall. And I asked her to make me some apple stems. And I stopped by this evening to pick them up.
Cool. Oh, wow.
This is what I'll be using in the future. She made quite a bit of them. Most of them are too big. But we finally agreed that I like the brown, and she'll make them a little bit shorter and straighter. But eventually, my apples will have a glass stem in them,
Cool.
which will give some class.
More? Clove?
Yeah.
I've taken an habit of starting with the bottom of the apple. The reason being, think if you're doing a pear, if you're starting with the top, you're going to have a hard time holding it when you're doing the other side. But as I said, you don't have to stress, because the shape is not really that important. One mistake I made quite often, and after a while you learn, a clove is not that big, but for a reason or another, my hole is never deep enough to cover the clove. Well, it wasn't deep enough, because when you set the apple on the table, you don't want the clove to touch the table, you want the apple to touch the table. So the clove has to be deep enough so it doesn't touch the table. So after a couple of mistakes, you remember. I'll use my 3/8 spindle gouge because I can go in. Whoops, that wasn't supposed to be. Okay, so that's about it for the bottom. Now, to hold it, when I reverse it, of course I can't grab it in the chuck here. So, they invented a screw chuck, which fits in here, and you screw your piece of wood in it, and you can turn it. Now, you don't have to go to the store and buy one. I don't know how much this costs. I've had it for I don't know how long, maybe 20 years, but you can make it. You can make one out of wood. The piece of wood, drill a hole in the center, and put a screw in there. But there's always a but somewhere. The first one I tried was something like that. And normally a screw doesn't have thread to the head. It has about 5/8 or half an inch of non-threaded part, and that spins into that thing. So that's why I made this one thicker, 3/4 of an inch, so at least I have some thread in the wood. It holds. There, that's about it. Okay. The cut. The drawbar in there. I've added a piece, could be wood, with some plastic I had, so the bar doesn't wobble in the center. So that way I'm sure that my screw chuck won't come out. One safe thing to do is center it with the tailstock. Because it's easy to go at the wrong angle. Lock it. so it's holding. So now I can do the other face easily, as easily as I did the bottom. Even though I have a recess here, I'm gonna lose it, I'm gonna take it off. Sorry, late. I need that in for now. It's the same price. So would you say it's starting to look like an apple?
If you say so. We can see there's a difference from here to here, and there will always be one. You see, I'm right here, and here I've got about a 3/16 of an inch between my nail and the mark of where I'm cutting. So you gotta know that you're gonna be sanding to make these two halves blend together. Got rid of the nose. Now this is the top of the apple. I make it, you make it the way you want. I make it bigger than what the hole I'm making at the bottom. Is the way I see an apple. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but so this is for the stem. I can go as deep as I want. I don't have to remount the apple. It is done. So I'm sanding. said before, we'll try to blend the two turnings. So now all I have to do is put a clove
The bottom?
in the bottom, and I'll show you something. I don't know if you've ever noticed, most of the cloves have a something that you don't want. I don't know, some kind of a bulbe in French. So I removed that. Est-ce qu'on me voit à l'écran? Mais pas moi, mais la patente. So there. So we got this 4 stem star. For the stem, as I said before, I carve a small piece of black walnut, and I fit it in here. I know my hole is, I drilled an 1/8 of an inch hole, so I make it so it fits, and glue it there, and that's it. That's why I don't have to make my hole at an angle. My stem is not carved at an angle. And I'm not much of a carver, so I use the Dremel with the sanding drum. And this is what I come up with. So it takes a few minutes. I rough it on the bandsaw and finish it with the drum sander.
Another chance.
You see there on the camera, I guess, it is, yeah, you do see. That's why I say your piece has to be perfect so the defects don't show, but they just drop the apple when they ship it, that's all.
Yeah, it makes it more realistic.
That's it.
There's no perfect apple.
That's where you put the sticker.
Kind of apple I'm turning is not a Christmas apple, so I'm gonna put some green to it. Because the red, to me, is too red.
Where'd you get the markers?
And this is lacquer thinner. Just to remove the excess. It's less reddish that way. And I'm going to add a little more green. That looks pretty cool. If I compare to this. Hey. By the way, I didn't want to bring these back. Please pass it around and help yourselves. I've cleaned them before I took them in.
And no, you can't keep the bowl.
No, you can't.
Anybody want to know? Half an hour.
Not even for 2 bottles of wine.
Have an apple just before you have a bottle of beer. Sorry.
I'm gonna wait a few seconds for it to dry before I can manipulate it. Then I'll have to finish the bottom by hand with the felt pens and put the cloves
Can you just
and
look up for a second? Okay.
put the clove and the stem in it. Won't be long. Any questions? Why?
Someone asked you about the
Markers.
markers.
Where do you get the
I
markers?
think Omer de Serre.
Dollar store.
No.
No, because you want a marker that is color fast.
Yeah.
So the color stays. If you buy the cheap stuff, after months or a year, the color disappears,
Okay.
especially if it's under the sun. So you have to spend a bit more to get a color fast pen. I'm using Letracet that I get at Omer de Serre, but they're the top quality.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're looking for that, no, Walmart doesn't sell them. Winners has in their little crafty section has like a bulk pack of like 5 or 6 colors, or like I think it's 16. They're fairly expensive. Not
Yes,
cheap,
they
not
are.
cheap. But they have like reds, browns, and whatever for like $10, $12, and they have $16. They have big bulk pack because those are two-sided, right? They're two tips, right?
Yes, the fine tip and the
Fine
big tip at the other
Yeah,
end.
Winners has them. I know, I've seen them. But
Yeah.
Omer de Serre has all the colors individually.
Okay, looks good.
You ever tried airbrushing?
No, I'm not good at it. It would probably be a better way of doing it if I was equipped with good stuff, and I have El Cheapo, and every time I try something with it, I say it's the last time. So let's finish the bottom here.
This is the other point, see, fine point and the big one.
Is it called Color Fast? Color Fast, you say?
Yeah.
No, it's
They are color fast, it's a quality, they're not called color fast.
Okay.
They are,
No,
they,
okay, I
being
understand.
letraset, they're color
I
fast.
understand.
It's only a quality of it.
Okay. That's a neat restriction.
if you don't want to pay for it, just go to Pierre's house.
It doesn't work that way.
Just paint.
I go through a couple of gallons a year of that stuff. It's-
Lacquer thinner?
Yeah, like I use it for everything. If I cut myself, I put lacquer thinner on it,
I don't do it.
disinfects.
Oh, yeah.
It also infects.
Nah,
Kills everything.
Just burns everything.
Brain cells included.
Including your skin.
I already got cut on Warsaw.
Russell is done.
so once again, we'll remove the bubule,
It's the eye. It's called the eye.
the eye.
Yeah, I remember my mother used the eye.
You don't even know what a clove is.
Yeah, it's like, I thought it was something, after I understood, we put that in the biscuits that you guys ate. My mother crushes them and puts them in the thing.
Ham, yeah, not a biscuit.
Yeah.
I think they
Probably they smash it in or they throw it. Either roast or
And on this one, I'll put a glass stem.
Does wood glue stick to glass?
Good question.
You'll find out by next week.
Wood glue will not stick to glass.
Epoxy.
Worst comes to worst,
Glass glue.
worst comes to worst, it will come off and I'll glue it with the better glue. But, see,
Epoxy.
the ones I make them to fit. The glass ones,
Not too big.
you have to fit them to what they're made.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, 'cause
They're not consistent.
they're not consistent.
Handmade.
So I'm gonna have to use a bigger bit here. This will probably won't do it, but It was the first time that this lady was making those, so she didn't know exactly what I wanted, but she's gonna be working on smaller ones. And she might even come to the club. She has a lathe at home that she got from her dad, never used. So I invited her. She couldn't make it tonight, but eventually I'm sure that we're gonna see her here. Sometimes in January. Almost. But I don't want to push it because glass being glass, then it would be pretty hard to drill out. Here. So here's the apple. Nice. So the only difference is it's longer. The shape is going to be different, but for turning it's all the same. I brought my spock. Very handy. Does that look good to you? I'll try to avoid the mistake I did earlier and not centering the hole. Just so I'm centered. Bit of sanding. I used to finish them with the Beal system, and I've had food bowl in my kitchen forever. But there, in the kitchen there seems to always be water coming from somewhere, from a splatter from a meal or whatever. And Beal system and water don't do very well together. So So I have to repolish my fruits every once in a while. Okay. We're already seeing a pear. Thank you. You have to remember, when I say it's a pear, it's a pear.
Yeah. There you go. That's a pear.
Depends, is it a Bartlett or
That's more like the pear I would like to see, but they're always, they always come smaller at the top. I don't know why. I like them bigger where there's more meat, but
Like a bigger bear, is that what you're saying?
yeah.
Very pretty.
That looks pretty good. I don't want to go too low with my sandpaper because this is sanded, but I can't, I won't be able to retouch it, so. There's that spot here. Mark the center. Oh, that's it.
very good.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.